So there's a couple of bikes in good working order, and a little bit of gasoline to get to the shower if we need to. We have an empty tank, and there's a couple of bikes, and there's Kitty. So what are we up to today?
Well, we're going to go north on the Tom Taylor Trail along the river. Quite a pretty ride, asphalt trail, and we're going to see how far we can get in an hour.
Cool. What have you been doing this morning?
I've been planting the garden, watering the garden.
Yeah?
Yes.
What have I been doing?
You've been sleeping.
Alright.
Playing video games on
I haven't been playing video games. Bye! So, lots of water everywhere. And because human beings are really daft, a lot of it's polluted. And I think that's one of the things that people don't really consider. Even in water-rich areas, which we certainly are in, where we are currently, people dump pesticides, chemicals from pools, Teflon from cleaning cars, which causes carcinogens and birth defects, into the water. The water goes into the ground, into the pipes, and then goes out into the water source. So all of this water eventually goes into Lake Simcoe. And if there's enough people dumping enough garbage into the water, eventually the water becomes kind of useless. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to suggest to you guys, is what plans do you have in place to deal with polluted water sources, because I think that's more likely in the opening phase of an SHTF. So you might be forced after a few weeks or a few months to actually, especially if you don't have high rainfall areas, which we do here, you might be forced to drink polluted water. Alright, on with the bike ride. So this is about 5 miles outside of a fairly big town now, and as you can see, it's not a pristine wilderness anymore. This is human-made, controlling wetlands for future development. And as you can see, people get everywhere. But this would be an ideal area to come if you had to have meat with a frog gig. I would still maintain that most of the time the physical effort involved in getting the frogs and hunting the frogs is not going to be worth the calories gained from it. But as a variety, once in a while it might be a useful idea. Alrighty. So, lots of wildlife everywhere. It's a good idea to know what it is. And back on the road again. Hey, so one of the things the government's doing is it's rehabilitating the wilderness areas. This goes about a mile that way, and I'll take some photographs on the way back. They're creating wetlands to try and catch a lot of new developments in this agricultural area of housing, trying to catch their wastewater. So remember that. When you see ponds close to rural urban areas, they may actually be very heavily polluted on the bottom. I'll show you some photographs of that later on. And there's a guy doing his gardening. And we've come, how far have we gone? 6 miles maybe. And yeah, following the course of the Holland River to Lake Simcoe. Beautiful day. Later. So yeah, this is totally designed. It's going to be very beautiful, don't get me wrong. But they're building huge estates above that hill rise. And they'll have swimming pools, and they'll all have detergent, and they'll all be having oil changes in the driveway, and that water, when it comes down, will hold in these ponds. With some of the wetlands that they're going to build around here, there will be some treatment, but almost none. So ponds like this are going to look pristine and beautiful. But be very, very careful taking water from them, especially after storms, for a good long time. The water just looks good, but it's probably full of organics. Alrighty, I think we need to get going. Do we need to get going? Alrighty, hope you enjoyed that. Au revoir.